The scrolls left by forgotten sages trembled as the winds of the northern plains carried whispers of betrayal. In recap, Tales of Herding Gods, Chapter 741, Chapter 742, Ning stands at the edge of the shattered battlefield, where the blood of the fallen mingles with the frost, and every footstep echoes a question of loyalty and power. Shadows gather, not just in the distance, but in the hearts of those he once called allies. As the heavens seem to hold their breath, an unseen force stirs, hinting that the coming trials will demand more than skill. They will demand sacrifice that even the strongest may not endure. The air is thick with tension, and the line between friend and foe blurs like ink in water. What fear is there in the passing of celestial venerable you? The old bull strode onward, laughter rumbling like distant thunder. These ancient souls have never witnessed death, and yet my mind reels from the celestial venerable you is dead? Celestial venerable you is truly dead. Unable to contain himself, he bellowed aloud, paying no heed to summoning Qin or founding emperor. He surged out of the magnificent floor, where the tumult outside raged unceasingly. Some wept with wails that tore at the heavens, while others froze, dazed and uncomprehending. Inquiry after inquiry confirmed the grim truth, and men and women crumpled to the earth as if their roots had been severed. The old bull's heart trembled. All the ancient forebears who had gathered for this meeting seemed to have lost their will in an instant. He surveyed the crowd, once guided by celestial venerable you through a golden era of transformation, now scattered like headless spirits upon hearing of his death. A golden age, on the cusp of dawn, had dimmed to shadow. The blow to the mortal and immortal alike was beyond reckoning. His heart blank, he thought. How could he perish so abruptly? Surely this is impossible. A cruel jest, nothing more. Footsteps approached from behind. Qin, founding emperor, and celestial venerable Ning emerged, faces pale as mist. The cries beyond the walls had pierced their retreating minds. Celestial venerable Yu's death struck like a blade through their souls. Qin and founding emperor, travelers of time, had scant interaction with the venerable, though their single meeting had left a mark of respect. Celestial venerable Yu was a sovereign of heaven and earth, a hand to mold new eras, and a guide for all life forms. Even in brief acquaintance, his wisdom and presence commanded reverence. To see him fall so suddenly was unendurable. Celestial venerable Ling, who had grown up hearing the sagas of his deeds, felt an even sharper pang. Celestial venerable Yu had been a brother in spirit, a protector and encourager. Though he doubted her paths in divine experimentation, he had never withheld kindness or counsel. His death struck her with a force that left her staggering, her face ashen. Qin murmured, "Follow her, see what has transpired." They pressed through the throng, moving with swift purpose, past mourners and hovering half-gods, the air thick with grief. "Why would celestial venerable Yu meet sudden death?" whispered founding emperor. No mortal divine art could fell him. Only a half-god or ancient god could strike so decisively. Qin mind turned, thoughts like wind through bamboo. Perhaps he was slain to prevent the revelation of the path to godhood, to erase the method itself. The old bull's voice trembled. Could he feign death? To stir conflict among half-gods, mortals, and celestial lords. Qin shook his head, founding emperor silent. No ruse can withstand the vigilance of Earth Count and Heaven Duke. His soul could not flee, nor escape their sight. He is truly fallen. Founding emperor added gravely, and even if he sought discord, revelation of the method alone would ignite conflict. No masquerade required. The ancient and new gods would contend, their desires clashing naturally. Celestial venerable Yu is shrewd. He would not cede his labors to another through deceit. Their conversation, obscure to the old bull, hinted at greater machinations. Both understood. With Yu's passing, the balance of power would shift, and the ancient gods stood to gain. Celestial venerable Yu's path had been ceaseless, moving eastward, coordinating mortals and half-gods, mediating celestial powers, rarely finding rest, now the slow-winding pavilion in Jade Pool. Small construction was crowded, guarded by celestial venerable Huo and son of heaven Yin, sorrow and wrath in Huo's eyes. None could advance. Celestial venerable Ling pressed forward, voice hoarse. Is it true? Celestial venerable Huo choked and nodded. Inside, celestial venerable, you summons his soul. Celestial venerable Hao has sent a memorial, beckoning Earth Count. Son of Heaven Yin's gaze was vacant, pupils narrowing as tears fell upon his hands. Celestial Venerable Ling surged into the pavilion. Qinmu, founding emperor, and the old bull were halted by Celestial Venerable Huo and Son of Heaven Yin. Celestial Venerable Yu has passed. You may not enter. Let them through, came Ling's command. Their attainments may yet uncover clues. Huo's arm fell, eyes red. If you find aught, I shall bear no ill will. Qinmu inclined his head, stepping into the pavilion with the others. The lake before the island shimmered beneath the elegant construction, a dwelling of celestial refinement. Within, the ground was stained with blood, a window shattered, divine art's traces scrawled upon the walls. Celestial Venerable Yu lay beneath, limbs slack, head bowed. Celestial Venerable Hao, Yun, and Yu were present. Hao's hands guided a divine hound, its nose tracing the aura. Celestial Venerable, you raised Yu's corpse, vital chi lifting him 3 feet from the ground. A devil mask on his head cried, yet Yu's visage remained a calm ocean. Qinmu circled the lifeless form, noting the shattered bones. Not a single one remained unscathed. From the back of the heart came the fatal strike. Swift, deliberate, corporeal force shattering the core, leaving Yu helpless in midair. The assault was from more than one. The attacks swift, violent, precise. He traced divine marks upon the wall. Celestial Venerable Yu had trusted the attacker, giving them a chance to strike. The foe's corporeal prowess surpassed Yu's. An encirclement had sealed his doom, the battle technique practitioner's might, closing in, terrifying in execution. Yet it was not the wounds themselves that claimed him. Qinmu perceived divine art runes in the blood, invisible upon flesh. The lethal art had pierced soul, not body. His heart sank. The foe had sought to annihilate Yu's soul. Celestial Venerable, you cried, shaking like a wild beast. Spasms racked him, mouth frothing. Qinmu steadied his spirit, seated him beside the door. Thank you, Yu whispered, gaze upon the lake. The slow-winding pavilion trembled with voices. Hao proclaimed Yu's legacy would endure, despite his demise. Founding Emperor murmured to Qinmu, whoever shared the path to godhood is the killer. Qinmu straightened, hand pressed upon by a firm, unyielding palm. Founding Emperor's voice softened. It concerns us not. Qinmu's smile, faint and mournful, betrayed the despair that gripped him. What's there to be alarmed about with Celestial Venerable Yu's death? The old bull strode forward, laughter spilling from his throat, as though the very heavens had gone mad. These ancients have never glimpsed death before. My head feels as if it will split. Celestial Venerable Yu is dead? Celestial Venerable Yu is dead. His roar shattered restraint. Heedless of calling for Qinmu or the Founding Emperor, he stormed from the magnificent floor, and the tumult outside had yet to abate. Some wept with unrestrained grief. Others stood frozen in disbelief. Those who sought confirmation only fell prone, dazed, as the reality of death sank like lead into their hearts. The old bull's spirit churned. The ancient attendees of the gathering seemed stripped of all courage. Outside, the clamor of mourning was deafening. In the days of Celestial Venerable Yu, this place had flourished in the golden age of reform, yet now his death left all wandering like headless flies, a dawn that had been imminent now dimmed before it could arrive. The fall of a great leader struck the people of this age with a blow too immense to bear. The old bull's mind spun. How could he die so suddenly? How could such a thing be? It cannot be. A jest, surely. A jest gone too far. Footfalls sounded behind him, and Qinmu, Founding Emperor, and Celestial Venerable Ling approached, faces drawn and pale. Even within the edifice, the wails and cries from outside had reached them, the death of Celestial Venerable Yu striking with unthinkable force. Qinmu and Founding Emperor, travelers from another era, had little past with Celestial Venerable Yu, yet even one meeting had left them with deep respect. To them, he was the leader of the ancients, master of heaven and earth, poised to shape the future of life itself. To see such a figure snatched away in an instant was unbearable. Celestial Venerable Ling, raised on tales of Yu's might and counsel, felt an even deeper anguish. He had guided her as a brother, offering encouragement, even as she pursued the impossibility of time with divine arts. Though he doubted her path, he had treated her with unfailing kindness. Now the void left by his death struck her soul like a blade. Her steps faltered, face ashen, and Qinmu murmured, "Follow her, see what has transpired." They surged forward through the press of mourners, the side halls crowded with sorrow, half-gods hovering in the sky, faces tight with unease. Why would Celestial Venerable Yu fall so suddenly? Founding Emperor's voice was low, tense. No mortal arts could fell him. Only a half-god or an ancient deity could strike him down, yes? Chinmu's mind churned with other thoughts. Why was he slain before revealing the path to godhood? Is it because to remove him is to erase the method itself? The old bull whispered. Perhaps Celestial Venerable Yu feigned death. If so, chaos might erupt between half-gods, mortals, and the heavens. Chinmu and Founding Emperor shook their heads. The old bull's brow furrowed in confusion. Chinmu's voice was certain. To fake death before the celestial heavens is futile. With Earth Count and Heaven Duke, he cannot elude detection. His soul would not escape Yudu's grasp, nor hide from Heaven Duke. He is truly gone. Founding Emperor added, his tone heavy, and to stir conflict, faking death is unnecessary. Spreading the method of godhood suffices. New gods clashing with ancients will create strife naturally, over benefits and power. You, cunning and wise, would not waste death on deceit. To fake death would only give his labor to others. He faltered, unspoken doubts heavy in the air. Chinmu pressed on. Indeed, by faking death, he would relinquish the mantle of leadership to another. That he would never do. Founding Emperor's eyes darkened. We are outsiders. Though we have lingered only days, the shadows here seep deep. Danger festers in every corner. Chinmu shook his head, calm. By dwelling in the past, we are already history. Whatever we do, upon return, we see only what has been. Veins rose on Founding Emperor's brow. You would sow trouble again? Must I strike to restrain you? The old bull looked on, puzzled while the others understood. The question of benefit, the darkness looming, all pointed to the same truth. With Celestial Venerable Yu gone, the highest gain would fall to the next leader. With reform halted, the ancients stood to profit most. Celestial Venerable Yu, ever diligent, had hurried eastward, balancing mortals and half-gods, mediating celestial powers, rarely resting, within the slow-winding pavilion of the Jade Pool. Small construction, the hall now teemed with mourners. Celestial Venerable Huo and Son of Heaven Yin guarded the doors. Sorrow and rage etched on Huo's visage, warding all who approached. Celestial Venerable Ling pressed through, voice hoarse. Is it true? Huo choked, nodding. All are within. Celestial Venerable, Yu seeks to summon his soul, while Celestial Venerable Hao has sent memorials and invited Earth Count to return him. Chinmu's gaze fell on Son of Heaven Yin, whose blank stare shifted as 2 tears fell upon his palms. Celestial Venerable Ling entered, and the trio attempted to follow, but Huo blocked them. Son of Heaven Yin returned to himself, lifting his hands in apology. Brother Chin, Brother Mu, Celestial Venerable Yu has passed. Entry is forbidden. Ling's commanding voice cut through. Let them in. Their skill may reveal a clue. Huo hesitated, then relented, eyes red. If you find truth, I shall hold no grudge. Chinmu nodded, and together they crossed into the pavilion, built atop a lake, its reflection mingling with great waves below, elegance befitting the Celestial Empress herself. Inside, the scene was one of quiet devastation. Blood marked the floor, the window was shattered, divine traces marred the walls. Celestial Venerable Yu's corpse leaned against the window, head bowed, limbs lifeless. Celestial Venerables Hao, Yun Yue, and Yu were present. Hao held a divine hound, sniffing at the air. Yu lifted Yu's body with vital chi, floating him 3 feet off the ground. The devil mask upon Yu's head wailed, yet his face remained stone cold. Chinmu circled the floating body, noting the shattered bones. Each strike, each fracture, spoke of strength immense and focused. The fatal blow, however, came from the back. Heart shattered, corporeal might overwhelming the revered master. The divine markings on the walls belonged to Yu. Trust had allowed this sneak assault. Though Yu's cultivation was greater, the assailant's corporeal prowess had dominated. Encircled by a Battletech master, even Yu's brilliance could not prevail. Yet the corporeal injuries were not the true cause of death. Chinmu observed the blood, miniature divine runes swirling, traces of the hidden arts of the killer. Not aimed at the body but the soul. Yudu language murmured, and Yu chanted, striving to summon Yu's soul from Yudu. His heart strained, attainment shallow, yet with Chinmu's subtle guidance, the voice of Yudu spread, darkness rippling outward as the pavilion became a fragment of the nether. Yu now resembled a god, commanding Yudu to yield the dead. Founding Emperor sensed Chinmu's silent link to this act. realizing the young man's covert impartation of profound Yudu art. From the void rose a gate of heaven influence, suffused with sinister chi. Chinmu severed the link. Yu's soul is not in Yudu. It has dispersed. The divine art of the killer was to destroy his very essence. Yu cried out, spasming, frothing, grief unbound. Chinmu supported him, steadying his spirit by the door. "Thank you," Yu whispered, hands clutching Chinmu's, gaze lost on the lake. Chinmu, stunned, met his silent gratitude. In the pavilion, Hao's voice rang. "Now that Celestial Venerable Yu is gone, what of the Jade Pool meeting?" Founding Emperor whispered to Chinmu, "Whoever imparts the path to godhood here is the murderer." Chinmu straightened slowly, feeling the weight of revelation. Hao continued, "Days ago, Celestial Venerable Yu passed his method to me. Though he has fallen, his legacy will rise higher still." Chinmu's eyes twitched. A massive hand pressed his shoulder. "Firm, resolute," Founding Emperor murmured. "It concerns not us." Chinmu's gaze, both laughter and lament intertwined, asked silently, "Is righteousness extinct from this world?"